And welcome to Unconventional GMs, the channel where we play one-shots and short-form campaigns with vim, vigour and pace, and we try and get games done in about 2 hours or less. I'm Gaz, I'm one half of this, and also one half of What Would the Smart Party Do, the UK's premier RPG podcast, which you should go and check out afterwards. Tonight, we're going to be playing some Dragonbane. You will probably find on our channel a one-shot that already with a bespoke scenario. This is going to be using one of the scenarios from the book. So if you're a player and don't want any spoilers, be aware that anything to do with the Oracle's Cave is something that's going to be expressed in this game, as if you can see like an oracle into the future. So if you don't want spoilers, avoid that. Otherwise, please do listen in, or maybe come back after you've played the game. So we've got the same players as last time, but in case this is the first time you've seen one of our Dragonbane videos, let's get everybody to introduce themselves. And why not start with my co-host for this, Mr. Guy Milner.
Hello, yes, I'm Guy Milner of this and the Burn After Running blog, and today I'll be playing Makander of Half Bay, a mallard, a 5 foot tall anthropomorphic duck, wearing full plate armor. He's a knight of noble breeding, who's got a good sense of camaraderie with his more common born fellow adventurers. In the previous adventure, you'll note that Makander was one of many of the party that was very interested not only in heroics and adventuring, but also in the exploration of culinary foodstuffs and so on. And Makander was very pleased to be able to utilize his aquatic abilities, despite obviously wearing plate armor at the moment. So yeah, looking forward to a follow-up adventure with yet more heroics with his fellow adventurers.
Excellent stuff. And another of my co-hosts from the other thing I do, we have Ben. How's it going, Ben?
Hello, I'm Ben. I'm, as Gaz alluded to, the semi-host of What Would the Smart Party Do? And in today's campaign, short-form campaign, I'm playing Krasana the Bold, who is a halfling, a thief to some, a liberator to others, a chef to all. And I've been having a very jolly time on this expedition so far, making new friends and gathering experiences for my little recipe book stroke travelogue that I'm writing to record my exploits within.
Lovely stuff. And we also have a fellow podcaster and sometimes stunt Ben on our podcast, Mr. Ian McAllister. How's it going, Ian?
Not bad at all. I'm Ian McAllister from The Giant Brain, where I am a tabletop critic. I criticize board games, card games, and role-playing games as well. We have a podcast there called Brainwaves, which is about tabletop news, and I also run another cast called Cult of the Old, where we look at older board games and bring them into a modern context. Today I'll be playing Baston Bloodjaw, a wolfkin from the north, a sort of wiry 6 foot sort of muscular wolfman who has decided to come further south and seeking out the finer things in life, finer clothes, finer perfumes, and definitely finer food. Bit of an epicurist, he's decided to venture around the world and sample only the best that everything has to offer. And he's fallen in with these bunch of miscreants and the chefs and various others that have come around his adventures along the way. And he is going to be contributing maybe to some of the book that his fellows are writing.
Hopefully, is contributing, not something on the menu, one would hope. And last but not least, we have our good friend of the show and great combination GM, Shane. How's it going?
Very good, thank you very much. I shall be playing tonight Archmaster Aodan, who's spent most of his life in academic study, but has ventured out now into the world to try and do some practical learning with his fire magic. So far, what he's learned predominantly is adventuring gets him set on fire. Or possibly drowned or other such hazards. He slightly bemused at this fascination with food and the rest of the group because at his age that delicate constitution can't handle some of the stuff that these folks are cooking, but he will hope to bring that wisdom to them along with the rest of it.
Excellent stuff. So when we begin, the characters have been off on more adventures. We're in the Misty Vales. So within the setting of Dragonbane, we don't know quite what's out there in the whole big world. Perhaps there's campaigns coming from freely, but the adventures that you get in the main box set are set around this Misty Vale where there's a constant aura of mist and fog about and stuff like that. And it's quite an enclosed area where there's previously been a dragon empire and stuff like that hundreds of years ago. There's been a demon that's rampaged across the land that's been locked away somewhere. There's been orcs and other elder races that have been pushed back. And now the humans, and humble humans even, are starting to push their way back in again and explore, because as the land becomes explorable again, old treasures and weird and wonderful magical things can be discovered. So the only location that's anything like civilization is the small town of Outskirt, which sits on the southern edge near the Drakar Pass, and that's where our characters are heading back to. It's set with a ruined temple in the middle of it, and it's been built around it with a palisade and a couple of towers. There's Hardy's called, he's the main guard captain, and then other people in the village take it in turns to be in the watchtowers and guard. And as you approach, there's not the usual sense of lazy observation that happens from the miller or someone else who'll be told he's on guard duty for the next 4 hours. There's, in fact, a sense of urgency as there's people running this way and that. There's all kinds of shenanigans going on. And let's be traditional old school and get everybody to make an awareness roll as the first roll of the game.
Crikey.
Oh.
I believe that is a dragon.
Yes, it is. Okay,
Nice
everybody
one.
else.
Yeah, Dan, first of the day.
And
Everyone else.
last I expect from me.
Everyone else fails. You get caught up in the shenanigans that's happening. For watchers at home, if you roll a 1, that's called a dragon. It's like a critical or that kind of thing, and it enables skill improvements as well. If you roll a 20, that's bad. So this is a roll low game. So look for those low numbers on the dice for exciting times. I'll explain to the rest what's happening in a short while, but the thing of particular note that you see, which is unusual, is from the broken tower that sits in the middle of Outskirt, there's a large vampire bat, probably the size of a sort of small to medium-sized dog, something like that. Very unusual to see it in the daylight, as it's still early evening, but that flaps off in the kind of northerly direction, which seems particularly peculiar. And then you also notice that there's Hardy is back. And I say back because you can tell straight away he's been out exploring. You can notice with your keen eyes that he's got bits of bramble around his legs. He's got scratches and cuts here and there. He's looking exhausted with a sheen of sweat. The rest you probably don't pick up that detail at first, but it becomes apparent as you get to the outskirts of the outskirts itself. And a bunch of people come around you. Everybody's in there to do. And one of them grabs you by the shoulder almost immediately.
What's going on?
Oh, poor Roderick's been kidnapped. Bandits have taken him. Oh, he's just playing in the fields. Poor lad, poor lad.
Which one was Roderick again?
He was...
My eyes, they're not so good.
And immediately people start babbling at once and telling you the different family relationships and who he is. And he was the Reddit. You remember him? Not his sister, no. But then, yeah, and then the uncle got involved. And then there's this torrent of information that's superfluous as it is gigantic in scope. And eventually Hardy manages to push his way through everybody else to get to you.
Ah, good. Somebody with some common sense. Hardy, what's happening? I see you've been out.
Thank God you're here. You're back from your explorations. We know we can rely on you. I've done my best, but I went to the Iron Forest, and he points off towards kind of a westerly northwest kind of direction. Past the Knight's Cairn, I tracked them, bandits or brigands or someone. God knows what they want with the small lad. But I lost him in the Iron Forest. There was other things in there. I heard screams and shouts, terrifying blood-curdling stuff. I don't think it was something they were doing. It was perhaps something being done to those brigands, and hopefully not poor Roderick. But me on my own, I couldn't face it.
I'll say, you were right to flee in terror. On your own, you would have been torn limb from limb. You need to wait for
my friend, he did not flee in terror. He made a strategic retreat. Bast and sort of like fluffs the crumbs out of his beer, like throws away the sort of muffin wrapper that he's like been chewing on. And yeah, so sorry, which way? That way?
Yeah. I head towards the Knight's Cairn.
Yes.
Through the barrows, you'll see the forest, and in there's the huge red oak. Beyond there, it's where I lost them. Just beyond, I believe there's perhaps a cave or something that might be, and then you can see like a couple of the older people from the the village immediately going, "Oh, the Oracle Cave. Oh no, you don't want to go to the Oracle Cave. Oh, poor Roderick. He was such a nice lad. Anyway." And they already seems like resigned to the fact that this child's been lost, and all he's lost in trying to rescue him.
So if we were to retrieve poor Roderick from the Oracle Cave, which sounds very nasty, I admit, is there a reward forthcoming? Is Roderick's family particularly well off?
And you look around the village, and at that particular moment, the slate falls off a roof, and a rather moth-eaten looking horse kind of like coughs and wheezes. And you don't think there's a massive amount of money, but you are aware this is the only settlement of note in the Misty Vale. So if you wanted discounts on all your adventuring gear, or a friendly armor to repair your gear, or that kind of stuff, currying favour with the people of Outskirt would definitely facilitate all the other stuff you want to do.
I think service is sometimes its own reward, Baston.
But is it?
I think
very well. I agree.
Come on, man. It's not always about financial gain, is it? I'm sure we can pick up a few bits and pieces along the way. If there's brigands to be dealing with, there'll be some copper pieces for you to keep you in dog food. Come on. Let's go rescue Roderick.
I'm sorry, dog food. Dog food.
Now look here, Chrisana. There was we let it slip at the last adventure. You're referring to me as a duck, but a dog food as well. We need to just be a little bit more aware of one another's species and a bit more, sensitive. Baston looks like he looks like a big lad, but inside it can be very easy to hurt him.
Oh, well, I look him Baston up and down. He's like double my height.
Yeah.
1.5 times my width. Oh, well, all right. Touchy. Okay. Meant no offence. Are you finished with that muffin?
I did finish it, and I'm still quite hungry. And Baston sort of stands over you and looks down, sort of licks his lips, and like, haven't had a good sort of morsel your size in quite some time. He sort of growls under his breath.
Well, let's go and fetch Roderick first, then we'll see if we can get you a discount in the tavern.
We must consider something else unusual, though. Did you not see that large bat?
What large
away
bat?
From the tower.
I thought it was a crow.
Daylight. A bat it was. Has there been more of those? I ask Hardy or the others around. It's not normal.
Oh, we have seen some. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're roosting in the old temple or whatever it is. And everybody looks at the crumbly building that's at the centre dominating outskirt.
Roosting doesn't mean flying in daylight normally, but anyway, it flew north, not towards where Roderick is, so perhaps I am conflating two unrelated things.
One problem at a time, is, and let's find this child, and then we'll sort out bats later.
And as if summoned by your talk of what there is to eat and muffins, you see the muscular Semolina Chubby Cheeks, the town's baker and milliner. She's a muscular halfling with a flour-stained doused apron, and comes up with this cheesecloth with a variety of freshly baked goods. And so
excellent.
He'll be starving with the poor little lad. Like, here's some food for him when you find him, so that he can maintain his strength and sustenance to get back.
We will definitely look after those for you.
God, I've baked all his favourites.
Oh, thanks, love.
They smell excellent.
Great. Super job.
Okay. And presumably you head out unless there's anything else you wish to do, or...
Could I quickly, if there's a local nearby that I've struck up any kind of relationship with before, could I give them a nudge and say, what's so bad about the Oracle Stone anyway? I've never visited it. Why is it called that? What's the background on the Oracle Stone?
The Oracle Caves.
Ah, caves. Right.
Yes. There's something dark and ancient lives within them. They say it's been there since the time of the Dragon Emperor. I hear the locals are superstitious and leave little offerings lest it come out and take them away.
Okay. Well, that does sound bad. Well, we'll keep an eye out. Thanks for the tip.
Oh, it's dark and foreboding in there, I've heard. You haven't got torches, haven't you, and lanterns?
Oh, don't worry. This is not our first expedition. We'll be back before tomorrow, maybe?
Yeah, good. Maybe one of you could stay outside so you can bring back word of the rest if something happens.
Oh dear. Pessimist or optimist, the outcome's going to be the same, but us optimists have a better time of it.
Well, fair enough, he says. I can't wait to hear the tales when you return. I hope it's you they leave outside, he says, and pats you on the shoulder.
Yeah, thanks for the vote of confidence. Right, lads, Oracle Caves it is. Nothing to be scared of, just a few local rumours. Nothing we can't best.
Basson looks up from the bag of like treats that he's been going, what, with crumbs all over his face. He hasn't even waited. He's just like stuffing the things in his face. Oh, okay.
Everything in this vale's been around since the Dragon Empire. I don't put much stock in that, to be honest.
It's kind of a common
We've heard that a lot,
report,
haven't we?
We have.
It'll be fine.
People have been saying that since the time of the Dragon Empire. Ha ha.
Ha ha ha.
Does anybody else want one of these?
And the screen wipes and comes back to the other side. It is now dark, and you find yourselves in the Iron Forest. You've travelled, well, all the remainder of the day and into the evening as well. And now you're picking your way through a dark, foreboding wood. You're constantly assailed by creepers, vines, ferns, and things pulling at your legs. There seems to be nothing that doesn't have thorns or spines on it in this forest, as your clothes get snagged and your boots get scratched and scuffed. And branches and bits whip at you, and things are constantly getting in your face. And it occurs to you after a while, there's quite a lot of spider webs. Like more than you'd expect, perhaps.
Have you seen how many spider webs there are?
I haven't noticed before, but now you come to think of it, there's more than I would expect.
Ball it up into little balls. Really good lighter stuff for a fire.
I wouldn't have expected that many. We should be cautious.
It's at that point that one of you trips over again, as you do with the random rabbit holes and tree root knots and things like that. But this time it's not something so prosaic. It's the body of, I guess you'd call him a brigand. Maybe that would be unkind, as you don't know what his profession was. But the body doesn't have any arms or legs anymore.
Oh, wow.
And it looks to be like they've been torn off, but there's no sign of them in the immediate area, certainly. And a rictus of fear is upon his face, although he's missing his eyeballs. And it's then that you see a couple of little spiders scuttle out of the blackened sockets and run down and into the mouth to a different part of the body.
Wow. That's disturbing.
Having a scan about the area, you'd notice that there was probably some kind of ruckus or fire here. You find a couple of arrows stuck in trees. You find drag marks. You find bits of clothes or flesh here and there. But yeah, there's clearly more than this one person here. There were several. But of them, there's very little sign apart from the signs of distress and some kind of fight.
Can I discern a direction where things may have been dragged off to?
Oh, you can certainly make a spot hidden roll.
I'm very bad at that, but I'm going to do it anyway.
No, there's not. There's not a real. And then it's at that moment that everybody kind of like looks around and go, well, they must have gone somewhere. And then everybody kind of like looks upwards into the branches. Right. Master Aidan's already looking. And you hear a scuttling noise. Seems to recede into the trees as the canopy is particularly thick here and blocks out all the moon and starlight.
Can I scent anything here? So I've got hunting instincts. I can use this ability to designate a creature in sight, which it was briefly, or a creature you can catch the scent of as my prey. This counts as an action in combat. I can follow the scent of my prey for a full day. I can spend further willpower to gain a boon for an attack if I get there, but I can basically track them down.
Oh yeah, you can definitely do that.
Cool.
Spend your willpower.
Yeah, I'll spend 2 willpower to do that. So I can sort of catch spiders. A spider smell.
Yeah, I don't know what spider musk smells like.
I mean,
your nostrils are now full of it.
A sort of slight grapefruity scent is what I'm getting.
Good. Better than I was hoping for.
That's only if it's from this particular province. Otherwise, it's just busy spider.
Yeah, and you can rush and follow it because it moves with great alacrity from branch to branch, hopping and skipping through the blackened overhead canopy. You can't quite see it, but you can definitely smell it. So the rest of you have to trust in the keen senses of the wolfkin. And it is not too long, thankfully, an hour or two more, that you turn up at a clearing, and you can see the forest in this particular area gives way a little bit to a rocky outcrop, of which there is a cave ahead of you, a dark hole in the stone, and it's certainly not like the dwarven hole that you visited previously. It's not dressed stone or anything like that. It is just a natural cavern, it looks like. But within, you can see there's definitely some kind of, I guess, a primitive altar, you might call it. There's small wooden bowls filled with bits and pieces. Difficult to tell at a distance, but you presume some kind of small offerings or something like that. And there's just like a very strong grapefruity scent that assails you fast on as you get here, as you think that one creature you're tracking is now perhaps joined a colony of many more.
Yeah. Since there's a lot of these creatures in here, maybe, and this seems to be where the people were leaving their offerings to these demons or whatever they were trying to abate.
Do you think?
Yep. This is the Oracle Cave, all right?
Do you think that might explain the webs? Anders says, a sudden insight. Ancient evil lies in here. Aodan, you're our normally our expert on such things. We'll use your guidance here.
Do I know anything from my study of myths and legends, Gaz, about the cave?
You can certainly make a roll.
I've been racking my brains.
All the other players, if you're on Roll20, you can look down the bottom left of the screen. You'll see a bit of revealed area, and the rest is hidden by fog of war. So,
I regret to say the Oracle's Cave was done on the day that I played hooky, I think.
Yeah, so you've
I've
definitely
never heard
heard
of this. Nothing.
You've heard of such places where there's some powerful beast or creature or demon that holds sway, and they're still in the dark places of the world. So although the big demon lord was banished, you think perhaps some of his offspring are still about and have, like in the dark corners of the Misty Vale, some sway over their own small domain.
Yeah, we should take care. I have no specific knowledge of this, but I doubt what lives in there will welcome us for a meal you also crave.
Don't worry, we'll follow my nose.
Right, Baston, your nose has led us well so far. Take us deeper in. Looks pretty dark in there. Yeah, let's see if I can take flint and tinder to my torch, please.
Yeah, I do the same and sort of lead the way into the cave.
Okay, and as you do, you note that there's the smell of blood mixes in your nostrils with that of the musky, grapefruity, spidery smell. The blood of probably like humans and possibly orcs and animals as well. There's like an array of it. Like lots of things have either died here or been dragged through. It smells like to you anyway.
Smell the remnants of many creatures in here. Human, orcs maybe. Rabbit, is that?
This is a charnel house. Worse than any butchers I've been in before. How many things have expired in here?
I've been to some very strange butchers.
Let us try not to be on the menu.
Indeed.
Sage advice as usual, Aodan.
I lead the way, torch in air, spear out.
Yeah, you pad forward, and quite soon the twisting tunnels take a couple of turns, and what little light there was coming from outside from starlight and such is now lost behind you, and you realise that if your torches went out or were taken from you in some way, you'd be in pitch blackness and in a dangerous situation indeed. As you follow this corridor down, for want of a better phrase, this tunnel, at a certain point you note that there's narrow passages, let's call them nominally north and south for the sake of argument, so we can get our bearings as you're travelling east. They do look quite narrow, so you think you all might be able to squeeze down one if you wanted to, or the easiest route is sort of like straight through to the east. The weird smells you've got are coming from everywhere. There's no one area where you think,
okay,
oh, I can track this person. It's like, or thing. It's like they're all around us.
I think the wider corridor might be best.
Crisane, those are wide corridors to use, surely.
Well, they are.
Scout those out for us.
Could do. Let me just check in with Baston, our tracker of note. Baston, these tunnels big enough for me, certainly, as a half-size mortal. Big enough for those spiders that you were following earlier?
Oh yeah, I'm sure they'd be fine wandering up and down this. No problem.
Okay. All right. Right.
They were
Guys.
just small. It'd be fine. You just squash them.
The size of a dog, the last one I saw, and a dog to me is like a horse. Okay, guys, I'm going to
That's
crouch
true. I
down,
hadn't considered that.
push my torch into one of these little side tunnels, and see if it's full of cobwebs or what can I see from here. I'm not going in yet. Too scared.
Yeah, it looks twisty and turny. Dark. Some points you probably have to climb up. Sometimes you might have to crawl on your belly. Lots of cobwebs. Look dark, mossy, smell of algae a bit.
I believe it might be a better idea to stay together until we find our bearings in this place.
It's not that I'm frightened or anything. I mean, I could go down there. I'd be happy to go down there in many ways, but I don't think Roderick's gone down there. He'd be too big.
Yeah, Chrisana, the bold. We must insist that you stick with us. I know what you want to do is explore these dangerous passages full of spiders and evil, but let's stick together just this once.
Yeah, nothing if not a team player, as you know.
Yeah.
Come on then. Well, I'll give up my opportunity for death alone in a dark tunnel just to make sure that we're together at the end.
Very generous of you.
And you push on down the main corridor, got the tunnel, which opens out at one point, although some stalagmites and stalactites have met in the middle, creating pillars. And you find yourself in a larger chamber, which I will reveal with my hashtag Roll20 skills. There we go. And you see a sight not too unfamiliar, actually, when you get in there. There's a massacred orc in the room, although the arms and legs are torn off in a similar fashion on this one, you can see them, but you notice that they've been stripped clean of all flesh and bits of ligament, anything like that. There's just a set of bones at the four compass points of where the limbs used to be.
Oh.
I give a good sniff round it, see if I can get that sort of grapefruity scent off this thing.
Oh, yeah. Piquant is the word you would use.
What kind of creature only takes the limbs from its prey?
Well, it took all the flesh as well.
Most evil kind that favours death for its own reward and not simply for sustenance.
Yeah.
Have a care.
Yeah.
Can
you tell if these were removed post-mortem?
Well, it's something unnatural, that's for sure.
That's true, and I can smell these creatures all over this.
Okay. While no one else is looking, I want to be furtively staring up to the ceiling to make sure nothing's going to drop on us. I don't want to slow panic amongst the rest of the team, though.
Oh, don't worry, it's already present.
Okay. You almost feel rather than see something scuttling.
Oh, no.
But it's quite dark up there, and with the stalactites, there's plenty of shadows that are cast about left and right as you hold your torch up and flicker it around the place.
I bet the old man wouldn't risk a little light here, would he?
No.
Well, at least our curiosity will be sated soon, I guess, about what creature caused this. I've got a feeling we might encounter it soon.
Yeah. I've got a feeling there are some larger versions of the little creatures that we saw. But not to fret. We can just stab them like we did the last one we encountered and everything will be fine.
Right. Give me just a moment, would you please, guys? Okay, guys. So can I crouch down by the corpse of the orc? I know it's grisly work, but maybe with the tip of a dagger. Can I give it a perfunctory search? See if it's been robbed or just eaten, or can I get any more clues as to what happened to it?
Yeah, do you want to make a spot hidden roll, Bob?
I do. That's a big fail, though.
Yeah, it starts to immediately sort of like collapse in on itself as you're starting to dig around, and things burst out, and you end up like scrolling backwards.
Oh no!
But the thing you do note that I'll give you is that you end up with like a scrap of flesh on the end of your dagger that you use to poke about with it, that you think was probably part of the shoulder. Or something's hard to tell now, but it's got a pair of like meat hooks, stylized meat hooks crossed over that look like they were branded into the back of whoever this is.
Oh, right, not a tattoo then, a brand.
A brand, yeah.
Look, And I hold up to the nose of the wizard, like above my head. Airdan, look at this. Do you recognise these sigils?
I don't know. Let me see more closely. Is it something I would likely know about, Gaz, or?
You can make your normal legends shenanigans rolls if you want.
Don't make your normal one. Make a good one.
Apparently, I paid attention on Orc brand class.
Happy days indeed. Yeah, you recognise it as the mark of Maladuk.
Oh, Maladuk, an evil being.
Which I may well put in the chat just for the sake of, if your pronunciation wants to be different than that. You know this, Maladuk, to be basically the chief orc of the area, someone who's pulling all the orcs together and has some kind of designs. Probably on finding Urdomen, the sword that you were looking for, or some other things like that. But if there's one unifying force in the Misty Vale for the orcs who've retreated, it will be her.
I'll explain that to the rest of them using many, many more words as is Aedan's want.
Yeah.
So some sort of orc boss. Is that what you're saying?
If you wish to be so reductive, yes.
I do.
So this is one of a tribe.
Well, he's one of many tribes.
Well, maybe we'll find more of these folks in here.
Okay.
I wonder why they're in here. Maybe they.
Hmm.
Do you think they were brought here by the spiders? Is there evidence of like the corpse having been dragged in here?
Not as such.
Okay.
No, not clearly so.
Anyway, I sniff the air and I pick a direction effectively at random, even though they don't know that. I think it's north.
There's an exit north and there's one to the east, and both of them you can smell. Yeah, you think fresh water, running water, perhaps something. And now you prick up your ears. You can kind of hear a sort of sloshing or low rumbling kind of noise.
I'll head in that direction.
It's coming from both. But
okay, I'll go north.
Yeah,
Sounds are treacherous inside these caves. They echo among the walls.
The correct direction is this one. He says with confidence.
you do head through the dark pitch tunnels, heading deeper and deeper into the rocky hillside. And you indeed come to an underground river. There's a raging black water that disappears into darkness to the east. The passage continues on the far side of it, and it's about 4 meters wide. So I don't know, maybe you could jump it. You're not sure the rest could. Some perhaps would have to swim it.
Not
But
sure.
it's a black and fearsome looking water that's running with great pace.
Do we have any rope?
I have some rope. Drop it off on my shoulder.
I think I can make it to the
Nothing to
side.
attach it to yet, though.
I think I can jump to the other side, tie something up on there, maybe put my spear in the ground, tie the rope up, and then get you all across.
But Makander is at home in the water as he is in his armor, is he not?
I'm already taking my greaves off and tying them around my neck. Clunk, clunk,
Put your goggles on.
Yeah.
Is it not too fast for your little legs?
Oh, it's just about judging the current.
Very well. You know the water better than I.
Perhaps we tie the rope around him, though.
Yeah, as a precaution, that'd be useful. I don't want to lose my greaves.
Okay, don't make a swimming roll if you're going to try and.
Yeah.
The bad news is you get a bane for this.
My boon will cancel it out.
Yeah, indeed.
And in a quirk of the system, wearing plate mail gives no penalty to swimming.
No.
I've taken my greaves off. So,
yeah.
Plate mail is very hollow. It's got like a hollow bit inside, so it's like it sort of floats.
It's like bird bones.
As established in the previous thing, you can just float in it. It's like a plate of
As long as it doesn't touch the water, it's fine.
Yeah.
It
touch the water, it's rust.
Yeah, but I just thought Makander would be better at swimming. But anyway.
We all did.
Yeah.
Wow, you're rubbish at swimming.
Yeah, he's immediately whipped to one side as he gets it. So there's something no problem. And as soon as he jumps in, he just goes sideways and disappears into the inky blackness around the corner as the rope goes tight. I presume somebody's holding the other end of it.
I am.
Yeah, just tie me on. Don't do the
Look
second
around
part
at each
other.
I'll tell you who isn't.
I shall begin squawking and honking in panic.
I
And
grab
shouting
the
about
tight
him.
rope and start pulling him in.
A river demon
Yeah,
underwater grabbing me. It's got my
roll your
greaves.
strength for me, please.
Just straight strength check. Yep.
Yes, please.
Yep.
You succeed, yeah. Makanda, you definitely get the feeling there was something in the water as you were pulled with some effort by the wolfkin out. There was something that brushed against your legs.
Oh no!
I mean, I will report that as something that tried to drag me underwater.
Yeah.
And that's
That's
not a
why
spider.
I couldn't swim across.
You can use a gust of wind to aid your leap. Baston.
That sounds like an excellent idea, my friend.
Oh, I want to see this.
So do I.
So I can use my gust of wind spell, which as long as I don't throw you into a wall or something, shouldn't hurt you.
Baston backs up into the previous room. Does not run up.
Yeah.
Right.
So I decide to time it as he goes to jump to give him a little gust of wind.
Sure. Unless if he doesn't say anything specific, I'll say you can definitely have a boon on your acrobatics roll to leap across.
Cool.
Unsurprisingly, there are no specific rules in the spell for that.
How do I activate boon? Do I just
At the top of the character sheet, you'll see 2 boxes, boons and banes. You just have to manually type a number.
cool, and I'll just automatically use it up on my next
It
roll?
will. But
Yeah,
then you'll have
cool.
to reset it to 0 afterwards. It's perpetual.
But there's a reset button to the right.
Yeah, it has.
Oh yeah, I
You're
rolled
just
real
very bad
badly.
at rolling.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
There's a splash as you like fall a good meter short.
Yeah.
As the wind, the gust of wind does take you up, but it probably means that you jump shallower than you thought it was going to be. You thought you were going to go up more, and you just go
Yeah.
across, and then you're in the water as well, floundering about.
I shall hurl the rope that's still tied to me out to Baston
Back the other way.
to try and drag him in.
Same rules for you. I'll give you a strength roll to pull him out before something may happen in the water.
Okay. Yes.
Again, Bastard, you feel something as well, something thrashing against your legs.
I forget how, like, does a dog shake, basically. Just spraying water everywhere. What was in there? Something brushed past me. Quite large. Eel-like, maybe. I don't know. Ugh.
Gotta admit,
And
I
you all
didn't
make
personally care much for Roderick.
you can all make some kind of roll for me, which I'm going to say is it awareness?
Is it?
Sounds
That's definitely a skill, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
good.
Oh,
I'm
dragon.
aware of nothing.
I'm too busy wiping Baston's dog-smelling water out my eyes.
Got
Yeah.
dragon. It's the goggles.
There's probably a bit of drool in there as well.
Okay, so
I'm looping up my now sodden rope, but I'm not completely oblivious.
Kisana and Makanda, you are aware, so I'm going to deal you in.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
And so what did we say there? So Makanda first, you're going to be acting on a 2. Kisana, you're going to be acting on a 9.
Oh, wow.
And Roll20 is not letting me grab hold of that card because it's under the darkness of the fog of war. There we are, got it. And then as you say, the eel, Baston, that's when the eel beast makes itself aware.
See, I told you.
Summoned it.
With a ferocity of 2. So it's going to act on 5 and 10. And the other 2 of you who failed your awareness rolls are obviously surprised by this and or pulling water out of your ears, whatever else you're doing. So whoever got a 2, someone's moved the card away.
Sorry, that's me.
Where I put it. Yeah. you get to it first, Bickhand.
I am enraged by this thing, and still obviously tied to this rope. I charge it with my axe. So I'm literally being ill-tempered. Make myself angry.
Sure.
Hit it with my axe. Oh no! But miss.
Ooh.
Or not.
Push it.
Oh, I didn't do the boon actually. Can I roll another d20?
Sure you can.
I mean, I'd quite like to roll the damage again as well, but never mind. Yeah, that'll hit for 3 damage then.
3. Okay. Its rubbery hide does not seem massively damaged by this
Funny that.
skimming slice across its scaly surface. And then the eel itself gets to do something. So I'll roll a d4. I'll consult my table. The tail swipe. The beast swipes its tail at someone within 10 meters. I'm going to say it's probably you, Makanda, because you run up to it. So it lazily flicks you to one side and knocks you down. So you're going to be knocked prone and you take 5 damage.
Is this something I can parry? I imagine not.
If you've got an ability, that means you've got a separate parry as well because you've already acted.
Yeah, I have. I've got defensive, so I can attempt to parry by spending willpower.
Well, actually, sorry, it doesn't. I forgot. Monsters' attacks can't be parried unless it says they can, and it doesn't say you can. So therefore, bye.
I'll save the willpower and lose the hit points then.
Yeah.
As I will be, rolling around, grief still half on.
Yeah, I've got to remember this game. It's an exception that
and we're still tied together as well. That's going to make it interesting.
Of course we are, yeah.
Yeah, you're not to one side. Bastan's tugged sideways as you go flying. And then, Chrisana, you get to act.
Really? Oh, okay. Well, I'm actually going to slide my dagger into place, into my hand, it drops into my palm, and I'm going to slash the rope that connects Baston and Makanda. Freeing them up.
You can do that for free.
Oh!
There's something else you'd like to do as well.
Oh, if they're more? Oh, in that case, I'll try and plunge my dagger into the eel. Right then. Dagger.
This game's pretty flexible on what the GM says.
Okie dokie. Well, it's a successful hit, and it's mighty as well. Both hands on the hilt. I plunge it into the scaly hide of the eel.
The eel looks distressed, as I think you probably hit a gill or something vulnerable.
Sorry,
and there's an outpouring of purplish, fishy blood that splatters around, and one of its eyes goes milky white, and it looks very distressed. And then it rolls a d4 on its table to see what he does about that.
I run.
Well, you try. It wraps its tail around you and tries to squeeze the life out of you, Chrisana.
Oh,
so
now,
you're going to take...
I am fast-footed. Could I try to dodge that?
Yeah, so does that give you an extra dodge even though you've acted? Is that right?
It certainly does. That's the fast and the fast footwork. So I can make an evade roll. Now, this is going to cost me a ton of willpower. I can't do this very often because I'm also hard to catch. We will see. So I can have a boon on my evade roll for this, but this is going to be 6 of my 13 willpower on getting rid of this. Yeah, I know. Oof. But I really, really don't want to have the life squeezed out of me by a 10-meter long eel. So let's see if we can evade it.
I've got my damage ready to roll, so let me know.
Oh my goodness, that's with a boon. Oh, shizzle.
It's not done the boon. It's not
done the boon.
How has it not done the boon? Got boon 1 in it. Oh, because I've got to press enter, I guess. Can I roll again? Do you mind?
Yeah, click off. Roll another d20.
That's better. That's much better.
Okay,
so there's myself, but hopefully I'm free.
Yeah. There's a moment where everybody gasps. I think it's got you, and then like a greased pip, you kind of pop out as it constructs its coils, and manage to scurry away.
It'll take more than that. I'm hard to catch, you know.
What condition have you taken for that, by the way?
Do I have to take a condition?
I thought you said you had, or
No. 6 of my willpower. It's a lot of willpower.
Ah, right. Okay, gotcha. Okay, no worries. Good. You have a near hit, I guess we call it, and then everybody can act. So let's shuffle that old deck. Get out some cards. So we'll go in the order that I can see, which is going to be Makanda's going to be on a 3. We've got Bastan acting on 5. We've got Chrisana on a 2. Aodan is on 1.
Nice.
And the eel's going to be acting on 8 and 6. So good chance for the whole team. So Master Aodan, you're first to react.
I am going to turn around and unleash a ball of fire
Whoa.
And I'm going to do that at power level 2. In fact, no, I'll just keep it at the base power level because it's already been pretty badly hurt. So I shall incant the words of power and throw my hand out towards the thing. And that is a success.
Lovely, lovely.
And that will be 10 points of fire damage. Slams into it.
Oh,
It
smell that.
reels and thrashes and splashes itself with dark, fast-moving water to put out the flames. But looks particularly injured. It looks like it might flee at any minute. It looks in a very sorry state, but it's not as quick as the rest of your companions to act, so maybe it won't even get a chance to do that. So, Kasana, you act on too.
Okay. I'm going to keep my wits about me. When it comes to dodging, obviously I have my little special doodad I did last time. Can I choose to not take an action now so as to use it to dodge later if it attacks me?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm going to stay defensive, hopping from one foot to the other.
Good, good.
Keeping out of its coils.
And Mikanda, you can go next.
Seeing it reel back from a fireball, I will leap again with my axe. Already enraged to try and slice it in twain.
Hit it, Mikanda. There, it's behind you.
That should hit it, yeah.
That's a good hit.
14
Good
damage.
blow.
You
Nice.
hack its head from its writhing body.
Yes, Mikanda.
Yes!
And it starts to bob about and quickly gets swept away with the dark current to the east.
Half Bay will cheer its hero today.
Anger is an energy, my webfoot friend.
It is indeed.
Well done, Mikanda. A wonderful display of martial prowess.
Now, are you going to try and jump again, Baston? Because I think you nearly made it last time.
Yeah, let's do it again. Why not? Nothing went wrong last time, right? Beale's dead now, right? There can't possibly be another one.
Let me just put a reef knot in the middle of this rope again.
You realise halfway across the rope's now cutting off. Yeah. No rolls are necessary. So here's a top tip for GMs at home. Now the immediate threat's gone. That it's just a matter of time to get across. And although there are random tables we can roll on, if you spend too long doing it, for the sake of the game, I think we can happily say you get across eventually. Let's not hold up our players.
So yeah, I stab my spear deep into the ground, tie the rope around it so people can get across that way. Pull themselves
Sounds
across
good.
through the rushing water. I help them out the other side. Then I take a deep breath and take a deep sniff of the air and see where to go next.
Oh, very pungent. Well, you've only got one direction to go in. Unless you want to go back across the river where you've just crossed, which seems like a false economy. So we'll reveal a bit more of the area to you. And you find yourself in quite a large chamber. It opens up into this, although large, it feels cramped because the walls, floor, ceiling, everything's covered in thick white webs. And as you're sort of brushing aside and burning some back with torches, that to view that there's corridors at all 4 compass points one way to the other, it's then that a swarm of spiders burst out of every nook and cranny in the room. The smallest are probably the size of a fist, the largest as big as well-fed cats, but there's a huge swarm of these things.
I'm sweeping my torch around near them.
As well you might. What I will do is deal some more cards. So we're going to have Mikanda is going to go 3. We've got a 1 for Baston.
Oof,
we've got
amazing.
A 7 for Little Halfling. We've got a 10 for Aedan. And the Spiderlings got a Frosty of 3. So they're going to go on 2, 9, and 4.
Oof.
So amongst your group, Baston, you get to act before anything else occurs.
Okay. I am going to sweep the end of my spear through their sort of webs, sort of cut off their ability to move around the cavern as well as I can. I'd also like to retain my card next round, so I'll take the same card next round.
Yeah, turn on 1 again.
Yeah. So I'll spend that willpower at the time. Right. So yeah, I'm just going to sort of sweep my long spear around the webs and like try and take as many of them down as possible. Right. Just an attack for that. Yeah. There we go.
You stab and swing this way and that with your blade, and you think you might have destroyed as many as a third of them. It's hard to tell as you're thrashing around how many there actually are, but you think you made a good attempt at driving some back.
Cool.
And it is then that's the first of their actions kicks in. So I'll roll on my little table. And you suddenly, like, it's like someone's got a big bath full of them and dumped them over each of you. So you each get to make a fear check as you find them scurrying in any orifice they can get near, into your clothing, your eyes, anything else they can get hold of. You're suddenly buried in spiders.
It's gonna be jumping.
Get them out of here! Get out of my leather!
Okay, how do we make a fear test?
Willpower, isn't it? I think.
Willpower, yeah.
Willpower roll. Cool.
No.
I am. Dragon.
Oh, yeah, it's just skin of my teeth.
Okay. Makanda, can you roll a d8 for me, please?
I'd love to. 5.
Unless I don't know how you want to interpret this, given your anthropomorphic duck status, but you scream in horror. I don't know what that sounds like.
It's a honk
coming from Malloy.
It's not pleasant.
This causes all the rest of you to immediately suffer another fear attack.
In many
I've never
ways,
heard Makanda make that noise before.
I'm more terrifying than the spiders.
I dragon mine. Do I have to make another one?
I'll let you off because you got a dragon. Yeah, that seems fair.
I'm more amused than frightened by it.
Yeah, you're all safe. Everybody else made their initial roll, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So there's this alarming honk comes out, which causes everybody to jump again. And it's as you look around, you realise it's Makanda. Everybody can calm down a little bit.
What terrifying beast was that? Oh, it was me.
Yeah, that's right. And it's upset a lot of the spiderlings as well. They're running around not knowing what's going on.
They can't even hear.
Makanda, it's actually your action as well after all that.
Okay, after that honk, I will translate it into a honk of berserk rage, and
sure.
I mean, I think I'm still tied to Baston again. So as the rope goes taut, it sort of springs me across the chamber as I start to hack wildly, following his lead to get these spiders.
Yeah, as I've been sweeping around, your sweat ran behind me.
Yeah. 13 damage.
Yeah, you hack about wildly this way and that. Many strokes. Lots of the spiders are dying or avoiding you now. Like some have pulled back anyway due to the horrific honking noise.
Terrifying scream.
which is causing weird vibrations of the spider webs and very much upsetting them. But not quite enough to drive them off just yet. So they get to make another attack. And this time, the web is going to ensnare someone. I think probably you, Makanda, we'll do it that way. In terms of whoever did last gets the attack. I think that seems fair. So you'll be unable to move unless you make a successful strength roll as an action on your next go. So as you were catapulted across, you have killed lots of them, but you end up like squished in the middle of a lot of mesh as that happens.
I think I'm probably, because I was catapulted across, I'm probably sort of upside down.
Yeah.
About 5 feet up.
Yeah.
And like all my snacks and stuff are falling out.
Baston grabs one as his snack falls down, stuffs it in his face.
Yeah,
sorry.
Your greaves fall down and clatter on the floor.
Well, they're still tied around my neck, so yeah.
Okay, Kisana, you've got a chance to drive off the spiderlings before they have their final action.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to use my my lit torch as a cudgel and squash as many as I can. Let's see. Now, normally I use knives. So should I write what staves is an option for fighting with, or hammers? Staves is agility based. Shall I roll that?
Stave sounds the most appropriate. It's basically a short stave, is a torch, isn't it?
Yeah, with a really hot end. It's a mighty blow. Yes, it's successful. Now, I'm going to presume I get a damage bonus of a D6 to most things. So...
a staff is a D8, as I can delighted to tell you, as I have one.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay. Right, so it's a D8 and a D6, I imagine?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's find that little combo. So we'll have a D8, a D6. There we go. 8 points of damage.
Okay, they screech and their own little spidery voices as you start to burn and char them, and a lot of the web goes up. And you realise that fire's had a lot more effect than the slashing weapons of your companions did.
Aha! They
But
burn.
Fortunately, not quite enough
Oh,
to prevent them all from doing something monstrous.
something monstrous.
So I shall roll for that, which is that you're going to end up caught in a web as well as you're thrashing about the fire. They immediately start to extrude their silky webs around you. And as you start to step forward, you realise they've glued your feet to the floor. And with that, we shall move on to Master Aidan. It's your chance to save the party from an ignominious death.
Well, having seen the fire be effective, luckily that's something I'm good at, and I'm going to cast a fireball around, sort of spreading its effect as much as I can at the largest clump of web. And I'm going to push that roll. That is a success, and that has made me scared because I am faint-hearted. So that seems appropriate.
And you're now in a highly flammable chamber that you just spread fireballs.
Full of spiders. But I did maximum 12 points of damage.
And you're now finding yourself in a raging inferno as what was left of the spiderlings, if in fact any are fled down the narrow corridors and into cracks in the surface of the rocks. And you're immediately relieved of any attack from them as they all dart away as fast as their little legs can carry them.
You should come down, Makanda. Chrisana, the web's on fire.
You would like to?
I cut into the web.
Ah!
The web's rapidly disappearing under the flames anyway.
Yeah.
So.
I choose a direction and we flee that way.
Can you tell me, the GM, what that direction is? So
let's go east.
Right, okay.
It seems to be the biggest corridor. Let's go that way.
You stumble to the east out of the blazing behind you with the crackling and popping of spiderous bobbies getting overcooked like popcorn behind you. And as you cough and splutter and gather your breath, I think that's a good point for both the players and I to take a little break. Maybe the characters will also find time to have a stretch rest as well. We'll find out in a few minutes. For you viewers at home, this break will be quite short. We'll edit it down. But until we come back, I'll see you very shortly. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Unconventional GMs. We are in the Oracle Caves. We've heard rumors of something monstrous down here. Searching for a missing child, our brave adventurers, with the crumbs of the muffins they were given to feed this child once they fed him in their pockets, have discovered citrusy spiders and the remains of others who have gone before them. They've slain a dark water eel monster. They've set fire to a hive of spiderlings and now have brushed themselves off, coughing and spluttering with bits of burnt spiderweb and their own hair in their mouths. They've headed down yet another dark, pitched corridor, searching evermore for this young missing boy and some meaning to their existence in a more metaphysical way. So, my friends, having girded your loins, you can see there's a variety of corridors ahead of you. But heading east, you realise that there's probably some of them join up together. And if I can make this polygon reveal work, so you won't see this, viewers, but for my players, they can sort of get a sense of where the corridors go. So they twist and turn but broadly head in similar directions. And it's not too much of a stretch for them to realize that one of the directions they could have taken before would just lead them back to the river, but in a different place.
Yeah.
And so, pushing on, I imagine, Ron, they're heading back to the still smouldering spiderling ring. You find another large chamber. And in this, there are actually like a variety of things. There's rusty weapons, bits of armor, perhaps banners or something else they were at one point. Suits of armor covered in dust and dirt, yellowed bones and blankly glaring skulls that can be seen here and there. A whole array of what was once probably a fine armory, but now is quite old and decrepit and rusty. You'll note there is a squeezable corridor further east. There's a passageway to the south and an array of stuff on the floor.
Does this stuff have like symbols of anything particular on them?
Oh, yes, it does. Someone skilled in myths and legends might be able to discern something from it.
That's definitely not me.
Or
Maybe
me.
my wizard friend can discern the meaning.
Or me. I'm still getting over the spiders. I'm going to push that, I think. And get exactly the same roll and fail. I'm disheartened.
I've heard a few myths and legends in my time. Not about weapons, though.
Or you can
I'll see if apparently I know something about them.
Is it me, or do we suck?
Yeah.
Not me. I know what these weapons are. Apparently,
these are
I know really good.
clearly from the time of Eladane, who was the first dragon emperor. So the stuff in here has been here 700 or 800 years. You imagine,
Wow.
and as you got such a good roll as you're moving things around and looking for perhaps choice elements.
Yep.
You find the equivalent of one treasure card.
Ooh.
Which I have handily pre-rolled for you to save messing about.
Awesome.
You find a gold ring.
Nice.
Which is the only thing that's not rusty in this room, which is worth 15 gold coins. Which is
It's nearly as old as you, Ian.
15 gold. It's cool.
Very funny.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess these caves are from that period. Interesting. He says, pocketing the gold ring and not telling anybody else.
All that.
What? Look, I knew the thing and I've been rewarded for it.
Yeah, I'm not complaining about it, just letting you know I saw it.
I swear, if that young boy isn't in here and just ran back to the village, I may well turn into the villain after this.
We probably should have given it 24 hours before we dealt with him as a missing person case at all.
You seem to know an awful lot about the law for one so disregarding of it.
Well, yeah, know your enemy.
Well, unless Chrisana wants to squeeze her way east, then we're going to go south, I guess, from here.
I mean, I could, but in the team spirit.
No, we insist. We insist that you save yourself.
After all,
yeah, let's not split the party.
Me.
Yeah, I need to stay with the old fella, really. I mean, let's head south. Look, shiny things to the south. Is that water I can hear?
Indeed, it is. It's an underground lake, and you can see that this is clearly where that river came to. Perhaps this is where an eel beast might reside, had it not been attracted further upstream by the thrashing of juicy morsels. And there's slippery rocks around the outside, which you think will be difficult to navigate and treacherous. You may even fall into the water where the eel beast was, should you have to. But actually, there's not a lot of interest in the chamber.
Oh.
Are there the remains of the eel beast that we can sort of fish out and cook?
Yes. If you wanted to, I'll get to roll on my special table if you want to take your stretch rest. But if you wish to take a stretch rest, you can definitely do that.
Take a stretch rest.
Yeah, I've been losing a bit of confidence of late, so I could do with getting that back. That we need hot eels.
During the stretch rest, I would like to go back to my diary full of notes to wonder why I didn't recognise the weapons and the swords, which is me using my memento to clear an additional condition.
Well played.
Perfect.
Cool. Maxed out. Yeah, no willpower.
All right. So let's Get a brew on the go.
Oh, some tea, some reading of books, some roasted eel.
Yep.
For some reason, my rest buttons aren't working, so I'll do it.
Yeah, neither are mine, as you can probably tell from my. So
Oh, there's another little pop-up window for "Are you being cared for?" So you might.
Oh yeah, that's probably.
Yeah, there we
Thank
go.
you, Ben.
Lovely. Well, thanks for the chat, everyone. Our little community is definitely coming together.
And you'll be delighted to know that my random events table, nothing happens. So there is nothing comes in to kick over your tea kettle or otherwise spoil your nice stretch rest that you have.
Mama eel.
The eel is particularly good, actually. Yeah, cave eel. Make some notes.
So Tracy's choices, once you've had a chat amongst yourselves and recovered and bandaged yourselves up a little bit and so forth, the corridor that leads off to the south, it narrows alarmingly, and you suspect is one of those that you'd have to grease up Cassandra to get through. Cassandra, rather.
Well,
Again,
since we've agreed that we're not doing that, shall we maybe head back and go north from that chamber with all the...
I mean, we've got all this eel
birds.
grease now.
Yeah,
To be fair,
I'm here for it. I'm much more in favour of this idea now that there's going to be greasing.
We'll revisit that. But for now, let's get greasy. I guess.
Okay.
Slather.
Right. Yeah. I'll
Grease
strip
through.
down to my breech clout.
I'm wearing leather armor. I'm fine. I'll just grease down the leather.
Oh, could have done that, I suppose.
Bit like now.
Put my leather armor back on. Outing.
Putting it back on before or after the grease?
After. Goes on really easy. All right. So are we going to try and edge around the eel pool and head to the south?
Yeah, I think that's the
Back
plan.
to the armory and through one of their little small exits.
Well, let's go south since we're sort of heading in that direction. See what's down there.
Making a squelching noise in my boots as we walk down the floor.
Do you want to make an acrobatics roll for me, please, Ben?
Yeah, love to. Let's see.
All of us, or just Ben? Just Ben.
Well, Ben originally, because he's the one that's leading the way, right?
They call me the bold, and that's why. Success.
So, no problem. And then the rest of you can make a roll as well, because it may take you longer. If you're not divesting yourselves of your armor and getting greased up, then you'll get a bane on the roll. Otherwise, you're fine.
is that in addition to the bane that I get for wearing armor? Or is that the same bane?
Well, if you took the armor off, then you wouldn't get that bane.
Right. Well, I'm leaving my armor on then.
Yeah.
I guess Baston follows suit and vests himself as armor and squeezes through, only to find himself popping out at the start of this cave network again.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to use my adaptive ability and swap out my frankly woeful acrobatics for bushcraft, please, because this is not the first time I've explored tight spaces, and I have learned
swimming.
Sounds good to me.
Oh, Phoebe.
Right.
You're good? Yeah, okay. Most of you are fine then, apart from Makanda, who, insistent on keeping his plate mail on, gets wedged halfway through. There's a horrible scratching noise, like when you've scraped a car down the side of a bollard or something, as he gets himself in there.
So while
my little table.
Oh dear.
Too soon. Oh, Makanda, you're going to have to get yourself out of that tin can or be left behind. We want you with us. Come on, man.
And even after he stopped moving, you can still hear that scratching noise.
Oh,
And there's a scraping, scratching coming from down the corridors. Most of you got through it, and there's just Makanda left wedged a few meters in the darkness on his own.
Makanda, you all right back there? Makanda?
I'm just getting the breastplate off. I'll try and
Are you stuck?
Try and extricate myself. I think I had a bit too much eel.
I'm coming back in, so I'm going to
normally-
take my short spear in there. I find Makanda again and basically sort of sort of pop him out of it.
Leave him out like
Sort of
an
like-
oyster out of a shell or something.
Yeah, basically. That's the plan. Would you like a check for that?
Yes, please.
Strength?
Well, it's acrobatics because it's about the finesse of doing it. It's not.
Okay,
the,
sure. Yeah.
the
Danny,
raw
okay.
strength.
Let's see what happens. Yeah.
Okay, there's a pop.
And he sort of pinging sound as he pings off the walls. Ding, 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 ding.
And,
You okay?
As he flies out, feathers everywhere, drops the torch. You can see behind where he was, something scuttles away in the darkness. But after a lot of messing about, you found yourselves back near where the dead orc was
Oh,
when you went.
another dead orc. That's two of them.
I don't like to ruin your enthusiasm. However,
We've got a serial killer at this
I
point.
can hear water again. Should we investigate?
This place is a labyrinth.
And you once again find yourselves going down that steep path. You must be getting even deeper into this place.
We've gotten turned around, haven't we?
yeah, let's go back to the chamber where we burnt all the spiders and go north.
What about north?
Oh, do we have to get greased up again?
No, but the enthusiasm in your voice is giving me pause for thought.
Okay.
And although you pass other side passages where a greased up halfling would be a good thing for investigating,
Mhm.
you ignore them and stay true to your course and trudge through the ashen remains of the spiderling cavern, heading north from there to find a similar sized one that looks similar to the one you've just left before you burnt it all, in that it's covered in white webs and the scuttling of spiderlings in the darkness. But additionally, as well as all that sort of thing, hanging from the damp ceiling of the cave are half a dozen white cocoons of cobwebs, each the size of a full-grown man you would expect.
Oh, I'm going to gently poke the nearest one with the blunt end of my spear.
You start poking around, and they seem to be just swing lazily until one suddenly screeches out, "Please, before they come back, help me, help me!" And the cocoon starts swinging wildly as the person within it, muffled as he is with all the cobwebs over his head, screeches for help.
Do we recognise Roderick?
It looks like a full-grown person, so it's not a child.
I'll immediately start cutting them down.
Yeah, I'll help out, sort of cutting down, using my spear to get to the long bits that are holding them up above.
Yeah, you do all that and manage to pull some of the webs away from his face to reveal a distressed-looking face. A haggard man, probably in his early 40s, black and grey hair, got a broken nose, wild eyes, mustaches encrusted with all kinds of bits and pieces, yellowed teeth and stinking breath. Just God, get me out of here! Get before they come back! Before they come back, they're going to suck all the juices. Oh, we have to get out of here! And he's thrashing wildly within his bonds.
Speak. Did you see a young boy?
Yes. Oh, it's probably too late for him now. We need to leave. And he starts worming his way towards one of the exits.
Well, if it's too late for him, it's too late for you. Speak.
I sort of stand on him, not to hurt him, but just firmly to keep him in one place. And smash my spear into the ground near his head and say, "Could you please answer my colleague's questions? Thank you."
Where did he go?
They took him to the west to the big one, the huge spider. Oh God! Oh, we didn't mean to take him. It's just we had to, because the boss said, "Well, he's dead now anyway." I was just doing what I was told. I was just following orders.
Just following orders is the excuse of the weakling.
I'm weak. I admit it.
Don't
let me go. I'll do anything.
Who is your boss?
Franco was the boss. And he kind of looks over at one of these lumpen things hanging from the ceiling.
I say we let him go, burn this down, carry on our way.
Now, man, can you handle a weapon? We're gonna finish.
I'm not gonna give him a weapon.
We could do with another dry arm in a hand. Chance to prove yourself. Glorious death.
Yeah, anything to redeem myself. Oh, so guilty, racked with guilt. I've had nothing but time to think hanging you upside down in this cabin.
I'm convinced.
I sort of he's still wrapped up on the ground, right near my spear. I sort of like lean over him, like just move my spear just slightly, sort of cut his cheek and just say like, "I will be watching."
Yeah. Anything. I'll do anything.
We could
Just
And
get me out of here.
Baston,
like-
we could tie him to the two of us. Another length of rope. Then he won't
You
run
want
off.
to tie people up? You want to grease up? What is going on here?
Are there any more living survivors within these webs,
There are just desiccated husks.
including one of Franco? Yeah,
Yes, you imagine.
right. So you're the last survivor. What's your name?
My name is Surviving Brigand. My name's David.
David. I have trouble pronouncing human names sometimes. Right, David. These are your options. Makanda over here can get very angry, and you don't want to hear him when he gets angry. None of us do anymore.
It's
Baston hasn't
terrifying.
eaten anything except the crumbs of muffins in some hours. And Aodin, well, he's not getting any long books out of the library. So you can stick with us, and we can try and redeem you. And the only way we're going to get that done is to defeat this fell beast that you speak of. Or we can trust you to scuttle off like the vermin you are into the darkness, and we never see you again. So choose wisely, but choose now.
I want to be a hero like you.
Well, that will take more than just this one expedition, of course, but it's a start. All right. He seems a man of courage. What do you say? Should we give him a rusty halberd from the armory?
I guess.
Yes.
All right. We'll get him kitted out then, guys.
Yeah.
Don't think we're very far away from the armory. Some
That's fine.
ill-fitting 800
800-year-old armor.
Yeah, all right. So it's not exactly a fashion statement. It's not completely up to date.
As we're fitting him out, I lean over to Chrisana and whisper in her ear, "Worst case, he's bait."
Yeah. Plonk a saucepan on his head. Give it a tap. Yep. You'll do. You're going to be in the front rank, just ahead of Baston. He'll guide you.
Right. Okay.
Go
you
on,
know-
David.
Okay, we'll march on.
Okay. He starts slowly heading to the west to the other exit from this chamber.
A little bit faster, David.
Yeah, I poke him in the back of my spear a bit.
Flakes of rust fall off the back.
David the Brave. That'd be a good sounding name, wouldn't it?
It would. The
Would
last
it?
of his name.
The last of his name. The halberd
Surviving,
visibly shakes.
surviving David. That's what we'll call you.
It seems a bit better. Yeah, the survivor David. That sounds better. The last surviving David. Yes.
Yeah. It was David, wasn't it? I wasn't sure if it was worth remembering when you told me before.
And he cautiously makes his way down, visibly paling the further and further down this corridor you go, until eventually you open out into a vast chamber. The dim light from your torches barely illuminates the ceiling and the far walls, but you can see quite clearly that there's cobwebs all over the place, certainly on the far side, and cocoons dangling, one in particular quite small at the back of the cave, you can just make out. And you see the outline of something very large moving in the shadows, and then a faint voice speaks inside your heads as if it's whispering in both your ears at once. Little creatures, why have you invaded our home?
What's happening, Aidan? What's happening?
David immediately starts backing up towards the exit.
There's a sotto voce honk of fear as well. Just...
Do I know
That's the
anything
muscle
about
fear.
this clearly not natural creature?
Did you all hear that? It's in our
did.
heads. Gods, I thought I'd gotten rid of them all. Maybe there's one in my jumper still.
Maybe it's just sitting in your ear whispering.
Ah! Is it behind us? Is it above us? I'm going to look around in terror.
There is more of demon than arachnid here.
I plant my spear in the ground and say, "You took something from us that we wish returned." You've
I'm gonna-
attracted our attention by doing so.
I'm going to pitch my torch towards it so it bounces along the stony floor and hopefully illuminates it from underneath to make it look really approachable.
Yeah, there's an even bigger spiderish shadow behind it now, making it look 10 times its size.
Yeah!
It moves forward slowly. It's got milky, multifaceted eyes, and it's probably the size of a couple of massive shire horses together with as many legs as it scuttles forward. To answer your question, Aidan, do you know anything about it? You made a roll earlier in the adventure and failed it, so I'm going to say you don't.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Be brave,
but
heroes, and David. I webbed hands on people's shoulders to reassure myself as much as anything else.
I didn't realise your hands were webbed.
Can I see Roderick anywhere? Let's not forget the reason we came here.
He's
You
literally
can-
that kid dangling from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us the child, and we'll be on our way. You can live out your life here.
Oh, the child you want. Oh, such a tasty treat I'm saving for later. Not like those bitter old things. Nice, young, sweet. His little mandibles quiver.
He's
at the thought
only
of it.
a morsel, O mighty arachnid, whereas we have brought you, poke with the spear, some vintage meat.
You have brought me my own meal from my own larder. I'm not so easily fooled.
Ah, but served up in 800-year-old silverware.
You are an amusing little one. You look like my morsel, another little morsel I could eat, actually, of similar size, although perhaps a bit more stringy.
No, we're a very bitter race. We need an awful lot of seasoning, so I'm told.
Well, perhaps there's opportunity for a quid pro quo.
Tell us more, O mighty eight-legged one.
There is another way into my lair, with an old constructed building that you little bipedal things used to live in. And now it's infested with orcs, infested with them. They come down here causing mischief and burning things. Why? Not a few hours ago, I heard the screaming of my children. No doubt it was another orc raiding party come and put them to the torch.
No doubt, yes.
Yes,
doubt.
absolutely. We saw them.
No doubt.
They fled.
Well, perhaps if you could go up the old stone stairs and drive off or kill the orcs, then I could see my way fit to releasing little morsels to you. That seems a fair exchange. I can't get up the stairs, my body's too broad, but the likes of you could get up there.
What if we deny them entry? Block off the cavern instead?
They're too crafty. They'll find a way in. They always do. They're like vermin. They find the little nooks and crannies and they get in somehow. No, best to send a proper message.
It's the only language they understand, isn't it?
I mean, the orcs will be terrorizing the people anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two birds with one stone. I like it.
Indeed. All right. Well, yes, mighty mistress. I'm getting some nods from around our party and get hold of the saucepan handle that's attached to David's head and nod that for him.
Here. What do you think, David? It doesn't matter.
Nod.
Yeah, he's just about taking a breath in.
We don't- it's all right.
We wouldn't like to think that we care about your opinion.
All right. We will accept this deal, and you're merciful indeed. We will put an end to the orcish menace, and we will return for our side of the bargain.
Good. And she starts to retreat backwards theatrically as the darkness embraces her once more.
Did you see the size of that thing? It's enormous. What a beast. We've got to deal with those orcs, otherwise it's going to come after us.
It feels ill to deal with what is obviously a demon in arachnid form.
Yeah.
It will come back to bite us, figuratively and possibly literally.
Well, there was that idea about blocking them in, wasn't there? So perhaps between us we could steal away with Roderick while the big spider demon's resting, because we won its trust, and then we could block it in afterwards and make our escape.
I like that idea too.
I can create stone to block entrances and exits.
Amazing. What do you think?
It can't get up the stone stairs, can it?
I
Could
think it intends to betray us when we return. I have nothing more than instinct.
Oh,
I agree.
trust instincts completely.
Steal Roderick, Scarper up the staircase it can't get out, block it in.
Yeah, we'll be pints before tea time. Profit.
We have an accord.
Okay, if we're all agreed then. So I'm going to try and stealthily, obviously extremely stealthily, we're going to try and cut down Roderick and steal away with him without the demon spider noticing.
Right. That is a choice you can make. Good.
Did anybody else detect the skepticism in our dear GM's voice then?
I mean, we'll roll the dice and see. That's how role-playing games work, right? That's all fine. Okay, so pretending to head off around this new corridor that goes to the west, I take it, is the direction you were sent to go. You do the thing where you stamp really loudly and then make your footsteps quieter and quieter.
Oh, is that an orc I see up ahead? Where's my sword? We'll plunge into it.
Ah, dear. Okay, then. So you're going to have to make for me a sneak to get to Roderick and retrieve him. And I'm going to give you a bane because there's lots of the she spider's little offspring running around the place who might go and grass on you if you stumble across them or they stumble across you.
Classic little spiders. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I'm ready. Is there some assistance that I can get to maybe boost and give myself a boon in some way? I wonder. Kind of greasy. That might make it a bit quieter. How about if I could maybe scale the cavern, cut the cobwebs that are holding up Roderick, and drops into, say, Baston's arms? And
Yeah,
then
I can help out.
skedaddle quite quickly while Aedan is preparing a spell and Makanda watches for signs of the demon spider awakening.
I can pretend to be fighting. I can try and enact with David the sounds of fighting orcs.
And
David's like, what have I got to be the orc? You just have. All right.
and one of the minor magic tricks I have is the ability to create large, impressive puffs of smoke that, specifically in the spell, talk about giving boons to sneaking in certain situations as determined by the GM. So I would love to contribute that way. Basically, have like puffs of smoke roll back out of the side corridor to simulate fire magic.
Okay. Sounds
I'm aware
good.
how daft this all sounds. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It's like an Asterix cloud. It's got arms and legs sticking out of it and swear words.
Yes. Ampersand symbols. All right. So, by rules as written, you're only supposed to get one help in the combat, but we're not in the combat, and I think it's much more fun to have everybody helping anyway. So, I don't think Baston helps per se because he's also got his own challenge of having to catch. The
that's
falling
right. Yeah, I'm
child. So
just part of it, really.
That's a zero-sum game. The other two, I'll give you. I think you need some kind of distraction anyway. So Makanda's antics just to give you some cover, and then you can actually have a boon from the rolling smoke and magician's assistance. I think.
Okay, cool. So that should cancel out the bone I had, and it's going to come down to a sneaking roll.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, brace yourselves, everyone. Get in.
Ooh, it's sneaking.
Easy. It all happens exactly described with the honks of combat going on and the fog of war drifting in. And
everyone flashing back to the honks.
Yeah.
Like some kind of daytime TV quiz show, darting backwards and forwards, waiting for this cocoon to drop. There's a snick as Kasana half slips covered in eel grease, but manages to cut at the right moment. And you've rescued little Roderick. And they presumably all make a dash for the exit.
Scarper. Yeah, now it's the part 2 of the plan. Scarper and put up some stone blockages behind us.
Cheese it.
Okay. You also have to leg it as fast as you can out of the corridor. Are you going back the way you've come in, or are you going the new way?
Back the way we came in, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. We want to block the entrance to the village, right? We don't really care
Yeah.
about blocking the entrance to the orcs because the orcs can just like get in.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, we'll probably stand in the middle of the chamber and have a really long discussion about it right now.
Yeah.
And it ends
With
up
a
with me
small
going,
boy over your shoulder.
it's behind me, isn't it? I think the way we
Excellent.
came is the right track.
Okay, so I'm going to call for an acrobatics roll to see if you can get away with deftness and alacrity. And judging on how well you do, we'll see if you've got all the way out, part of the way out.
Yeah, evade
completely
is a
messed
skill.
up.
All of us, yeah.
Yeah, everybody needs to do their bit.
Could I?
Oh.
It's probably at this point you notice that David's already legged it, as you see his
Yeah.
rusty helmet left to one side now.
Sensible.
He was very believable as an injured soldier, as I was hitting him over the head with an axe.
I'm going to push that. All this greasy in the moon around left me exhausted.
I'm going to claim a boon from my hard to catch ability.
Yeah.
Which will give me a boon to that kind of thing.
Hey, there we go.
It makes me angry running away, which undoes my bane for my armor. But I don't know how to do that. Let me just do it. Just a straight roll. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna. This will also make me disheartened because I'm having to run away.
Hey.
And I'd like to use my adaptive to replace it with other mentalism because it's about me timing the stone pillar just right as we get to a point where it'll be too narrow.
Okay, that sounds good.
Which is a success.
So we've all managed to succeed eventually. There are a variety of different roles.
Yep, just had to push myself.
Excellent. So I think for the sake of viewers at home and our own edification, we'll do it a little bit montage. So we know I've all succeeded to have done the skill bit of it, but for the exciting, interesting bit, we'll do it in a kind of 13th days montage type bit. So if each of you takes it in turn, one of you describe a problem that you faced, the next person describes how they overcame that and then what the next problem was. And we'll go around that in a little chain until you got to the entrance and you're on your way out, if that makes sense to everybody. Normally in 13th Age and games like that, you don't need to roll dice for the montage, but for this I felt we needed to, just to see how we got on. And now we've succeeded, let's add a bit of words around that to make it more interesting than it would otherwise be, yeah?
Okay.
So who wants to come up with like the first problem that you encounter as you start to rush away?
Me.
That boy there.
Okay. So I've had to push myself and actually ended up exhausted. And the reason for that is, of course, I realized that I've thrown away my source of lighting, which I tossed underneath the big spider. So as we dart away from the demon spider, I soon find myself in black tunnels, and I was holding on to the end of Baston's spear for a lot of it because I wasn't sure what was going on with the lighting and everything else. And I managed to stumble and get myself lost in the darkness.
Look, that's all right. Baston gets out his flint and tinder, finds the nearest bit of web, which is presumably everywhere, lights it, and like goes, "Look, light!" as the entire dungeon basically goes up in flame. This way, come on!
Is that you leaning into the next challenge you face is the fact that you're in a fiery hole of death?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Fortunately,
We've got fire wizards and you know, a dark. He'll be fine.
I think it's all on fire, but there's also from everywhere spiders are crawling out at us, and it ends up that Makanda is almost at the front as we race towards the torrent stream. Bits of us are on fire. There's a smell of burning eel oil and feathers there. Makanda throws back to his companions the rope that he's still got tied around his waist from the first time across it. Says, "Quick, come on!" and leaps into the water, taking up a little his little flute as well. Oh, his little pipe actually that he's got as his memento, and ducks under the water, passing the pipe to each other as we take breaths, as we float down underwater, avoiding the fire to the eel pool, then pad back up once it's away. And then something else bad happens. It's very rare that you meet just one eel beast on its own in a cave complex like this. So I think as we're just about to pull out of the water, we all feel something pass below our feet, just like me and Baston did. And
Yeah.
before we know it, it's wrapped around probably Aodan's legs as we're trying to get out of the water and pull him out. We see more of its. Maybe this is the eel beast's mother that's come down to investigate what's happened.
Yeah. So as it grabs my legs, one of Aodan's spells flashes to his mind. The one that he just used to block the entrance to the spider's cavern, and therefore it's on his lips. And he just, as he goes underwater, he screams the words out, and they come out a gargle, but magic can understand. And then he's catapulted up out of the lake by the pillar, which normally high enough to slam him into the ceiling because of the depth of the water. Means he's hanging about a good meter out on this sort of meter square pillar, and because the eel's been pulled far enough up out of the water, it begins to sort of its gills are out the water. It can only hang on for so long, and it drops back in. And then Aodan finds himself trapped in the middle, surrounded by the eel, because in his old frail state is unable to get to the shore.
Baston leaps up to help Aodan, like basically sort of fireman lifts him over his shoulder, jumps back down, and starts to sort of like pulls out like the sort of like, I don't know, tub of grease that they've got to like get down the narrow corridor again. But he's tired, he's exhausted, and he gets the others ahead of him, but he gets himself a little trapped. He's forgotten to take off his leather again. He's got like his spear is on him, and he's like it's on his back, and he's sort of trapped in the corner and like stuck as this eel sort of like slithers towards him after him, and as he's at the rear of the party.
Yeah, that was a bonus extra scene just on it to wrap things up.
Just keep going.
Yeah,
Go round again.
We've only got 2 hours, guys.
I dispatch it with ease with my daggers, and we leave.
Oh, sorry, I thought we were going out.
No, that's fine.
It felt appropriate.
I mean, you can do if you want. We can just do it.
That's right.
Yeah, that's fine. I in my head, I imagine Kasana sliding as this eel's kind of like wrapped around the pillar. Kasana can just like ride around it on a dagger like a pirate with a knife and a sail, kind of sliding all the way
Kind
down.
of helter skelter.
Nice.
Yeah. And so greased, slightly singed, wet, eel squeezed, you all pop out near the offering chamber. And I presume that's when Aodan's going to use the last of his magics to seal up the cavern.
Indeed.
Are you leaving perhaps the opening chamber there with the primitive altar and just sealing the corridor, or are you solving the whole thing?
Your mute chain.
I think you're on mute, Shane.
Still muted, Shane.
Maybe you can't hear us.
Oh, I'm very sorry. No, Aodan lacks the energy to block the entire thing magically. Besides, it only lasts for a shift, so it's a sticking plaster to enable us to get away.
Oh, so as you tumble out, and by now you spent so long down there that it's in fact the next day. Is there anything you do to try and seal it properly? Are you happy with just a temporary solution? You're going to rush back to outskirt and then worry about giant spider monsters later?
If there are any large boulders that would be convenient to push over the entrance, I'll look for those.
Yeah, it's very much like barricading a door. You don't think it's going to last forever, but it'll give you a bit of time to get away.
I'll paint like keep out demons on the altar. Like, seems fair enough.
Very good.
Yep.
Okay. And with that, you can rush back through the Iron Forests and past the old barrows that exist. The Knight's Cairn, as it's called, where lots of the old Dragon Emperor's knights over successive generations were buried. And eventually make your way to Outskirt, where you're met with rapturous cheers and applause once they realise you actually have little Roderick with you and you've not just come back. There's stern glances cast in the direction of David, who's already making a sprint for it, having gone back and said that he tried his best and couldn't quite rescue you all. And having seen you, he's stolen a horse and ridden off
What?
the direction. But that story's maybe for another time. I'll note down the NPC that's gone away. As the chubby cheeks halflings and everyone else comes out to greet you, and the parents' eyes are filled with tears and happiness that you return their little boy. Well done, everyone. There's much rejoicing around the place. And everyone gives you their book of vouchers for 10% off at various establishments around outskirts.
Excellent.
You are left to ponder if perhaps a part of the dragon statue that you're looking for was perhaps in the caves. Maybe that giant monster had a lot of treasure. I don't know. Maybe it's somewhere else you'll have to look. Perhaps you'll have to ask around the village for who knows about other rumours or places you could go to look for it. But that's probably for another time.
Well, on my treasure map, I'm making notes about the Orc Fortress, or the Orc Inhabited Fortress, which was another way into the caves. So maybe there's another expedition, but perhaps we'll leave that a bit for the demon spider to calm down.
Yeah, we could raise lead an orc raid against it.
Yeah, stir them up like orcs in a orc's nest.
Yeah.
Well said.
So with that,
I'm exhausted. It's not easy.
So am I. I still have my words though.
You're all looking forward to your long rest to get back all your hit points, willpower, and conditions. And so repair to the three stags to tell stories of adventures, as you can dine out all night on the things that you did, as locals will buy you pints and snacks while you tell them of your bold journeys.
10% off, don't forget.
Yes, indeed.
Only
And
Monday to
that's
Thursday.
that is where we will leave tonight's adventure. So thanks very much all for playing, and well done on your success. Thanks everyone and the viewers for watching. This is one of the published adventures. You'll note there are some old school things in, like quite often making rolls for myths and legends when there's not too much to learn or other things. I did cut some of those sort of things out, but left some in to give you the flavour. Unconventional GMs, I think if we wrote this scenario, there'd be more to find out with fewer rolls, perhaps, something like that. But if you've got ideas about how you might run one of these adventures, or whether you like doing it proper old school, do let us know in the comments below. We do like to hear from you, and it helps the channel out. Please do remember to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Do share with your friends, and check out the Burn After Running blog, the Giant Brain, the What Would the Smart Boy to Do podcast, and many other things. There'll be some links in the show notes. And check out the rest of our channel, because we've got lots of cool games. Let us know what else you want to play or see played, and we'll give it a shot. Until next time, dear viewers, bye-bye.